Welcome to Centre Court for 2023. Yes, we're back for your short, sharp netball updates throughout the week. I'm Bianca Chatfield and joining me is Maddie Browne. Welcome to the desk, Maddie.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Centre Court is all thanks to OMF. Upgrade your sleep game with a quality mattress from Australian designed and owned OMF. Now, let's get straight into what happened over the weekend. We're going to look at the weekend that was all thanks to Australia designed and owned OMF. Now, we'll take a look at what did happen on the Suncorp Super Netball Court. Some pretty interesting results, although I think the winners that took the chocolates in the end were the teams that we probably thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were some close encounters to start, but the creme really rose to the top and they started to push away and get those wins obviously on the board. For some of them, it's crunch time in their season as we hit that mid part of the season. But you and I were obviously at the Vixens and the Firebirds game, and it was a game of two halves. Vixens really didn't show up in the first half. They weren't at their best at all, but they came through scoring 48 goals in the second.
That was incredible. And the changes that were made on the court for the Vixens, obviously, I think Liv Lewis has had a great impact at goalkeeper, but having Hannah Mundy in wing attack, you'd be impressed with her.
Yeah, I love the injection of speed and just like energy that she brings, obviously, to the group. She comes on, she gets her hand on the ball straight away, and she's really pivotal in giving that ball to, obviously, the goalers. And Liz Watson, you can't go past her. 113 this net point. She was on point.
She is back, that's for sure. And then the other game, if we take a look at the New South Wales derby, the Giants and the Swifts, for me, this one could have gone either way. But I've been really impressed with the Swifts. Defensively, they really showed up.
Oh, yeah, and Sarah Clow just came out firing. She got her hand on ball, plenty of intercepts, plenty of game ball for her team. Helen Houseby as well is shooting at 100%. But for me, it is crunch time for the Swifts because they're just winning their games only by 3 points. So whether they can continue to push ahead, I don't know. But they're learning how to win ugly, and a win's a win in this competition.
You absolutely take that any time you can. All right, the other game was up on the Sunshine Coast, and that was the Sunny Coast Lightning up against the West Coast Fever. This was a huge blowout to start with, but then the Lightning just kept creeping back, and the Fever, they really wanted to win this one.
Well, it's no under the arms of obviously Steph Wood. She can get those shots in. She came in obviously in that third quarter, shot a couple of long-range super shots, which is exactly what they needed, but it was a little bit too late for them, and the Fever were just way too strong. Janelle Fowler, I mean, she is unstoppable. She had Dehaney, she had Irvine, but no one could absolutely stop her.
And shooting at 100%, Janelle Fowler, we underestimate her so much because she's so good every single week. We have high expectations of her, don't we? But what an absolute rock-solid weapon she used for them up front.
Yeah, she obviously delivers every single week for them, and she is, as we said, unstoppable, and she'll be another hard one to beat, obviously, when the girls get to Netball World Cup as well.
Oh, that's for sure. And the other game was in Adelaide. I did this one. It's the Thunderbirds and the Magpies. It was really the Thunderbirds, there was so much of the game they dominated, but the Magpies were right there with them. They were almost like hanging on to them going, we're not going to let you go, and just really adding pressure. But you could see the Magpies just lacking in confidence to really kick on.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't start very well at all, obviously trailing from the very, very beginning, which made it a really hard task. But the defensive pressure from Adelaide Thunderbirds, you look at that scoreline, 47 goals, even 52 winning the game. They wouldn't be winning any other game that had happened over the weekend, but they are so strong in getting that ball. And what we've seen develop in their game is their actual conversion of that game ball into a scoreboard pressure. And Eleanor Cardwell, well, she just continues to shine, and she's another hard one to stop in the league as a goal shooter.
The internationals sure are dominating. Well, that was the weekend. It was all thanks to OMF, Australian designed and owned. Now, we have a new segment this year, and what a surprise. It is all about Maddie Browne, and it's Maddie's Minute, and I'm going to be very, very quiet. And I'm going to throw it straight over to you.
Oh, look, well, I want to acknowledge the queens on and off the court. And I'm going to start with none only than one of your previous teammates, Sherelle McMahon, obviously Australian captain. She's a Centurion. She played many World Cups, many Commonwealth Games, mother. She also is the head of female cricket at Cricket Victoria. But she had a bronze statue out the front of John Cain Arena. You were there, obviously, for the marking of it. It's about time we had an incredible, obviously, inspiration and netball hero in Victoria, bronze, and standing right out of the home of netball there. So what an incredible achievement. She's been obviously a stalwart in netball for so long. And the second queen on and off the court is none other than Liz Ellis. I mean, she's achieved a lot, but I think this is the highlight of her career at a full, as I said, in Centurion, captain of Australia. She's been to World Cups, Commonwealth Games, Hall of Fame, mother, lawyer, author. She's done it all, but Queen of the Jungle, winner of the 9th season of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I think she's obviously been incredible and she won the heart. She was fierce in her challenges. She ate some horrific stuff, but no challenge was not enough for our Queen Liz, and absolutely stole the hearts of other people in Australia, because the netball fraternity absolutely love her. So Queens on and off the court, Cheryl McMahon and Liz Ellis.
I love it. Maddie, though, it's Maddie's minute, not Maddie's minute and a half, just so you know. But
okay,
we'll work on that. We'll practice that over the next couple of weeks. But well done. I totally agree. I was a big fan of watching Liz Ellis on I'm a Celebrity. Did you get involved?
I did. I watched a couple of them and, I just loved the fact that she showed a vulnerable side. She still led from the front, but she also, never took a challenge too serious, just got it done and gave them a little bit of stick. I love when she gets in and amongst the other competitors as well.
Exactly. All right. That's Maddie's minute. Now it's time to get to take 5. This is where, Maddie, I'm going to pepper you with some questions. We might take turns every single week, but this week, the first one I'm going to ask you about, my first one out of 5, Jo Harten retiring from international, thoughts?
Oh, look, I think it surprised a few of us. Some weren't so surprised, but for me, I thought it was just the timing of it. I mean, she's been an incredible player, obviously, on the international stage for so long. But the comment, I think, on her socials was, if you're not 100%, then you shouldn't go at all. And it makes you question whether that body is, still giving her a little bit of trouble. We obviously saw her that week that she announced to go down with a little bit of a knee. She came back out, obviously, but I totally think it's a great call for her. If you know, and why not, leave on a high and on your own terms. That's what any player wants. But incredible career, Jo Harten, and can't wait to see probably her go into the coaching ranks.
Yes.
I don't think Netball's going to lose her. I think she'll head straight into the coaching role after.
Another one I've got for you is the goal assist stat. Now, it's something that we talk about a lot, kind of when we're prepping for games, but I've always found it really fascinating how you break it down. Why is the goal assist stat so important compared to the feeds?
Look, well, I think we focus a lot on the feeds, but it is actually your efficiency. So have you got 28 feeds 28 assists out of 30 feeds? Like, that efficiency, so high volume, you're putting the goalers in really good positions to shoot. Coach once said to me, you're there to make the goalers look good, Maddie, so make sure you put them in a spot where they can actually nail it. So the assist is what I like to look at, not so much whether you got 50 feeds or 48. It's the quality and efficiency that you can use that ball. I think that's really important. And Alice Teague-Neal sitting high there, because every time she throws it in, it goes to a goal.
Another great game by Alice Teague-Neal. Okay, next one, Diamond Squad. Thoughts? Good, bad, any changes?
Look, I think it was expected. I mean, not a lot of changes there. Only one new face, which was obviously Matilda Garrett in the mix. But this team has done a lot of work in the last 12 months. A really solid effort at Commonwealth Games and even at the Quad Series in Cape Town earlier this year. So I think it was right. There was obviously a few, I think, names that might have been feeling a bit of the pinch, but I think they rewarded with some pretty good performances over the weekend to say this is exactly why I'm in there. And the Diamonds look good. I mean, they're going to have to pick up their game, obviously, at Netball World Cup, because the other nations have been looking at that team quite closely. But no, I like it, and I reckon there's about 3 extra positions that might be put in there, and I'd like to see some youngsters get them towards the end of the year.
Well done to Matilda Garrett. So proud of her efforts to get in there. She's playing so well. Okay, let's look at the top 4 in the ladder position. Maddie, I want to know if you think this is exactly the way it's going to finish at the end of the season, or will we see some changes?
Look, for me, I had those top 3 there, definitely at the very start of the season. Swift's had a slow start, but for me, I reckon the Lightning might just push into that top 4. I'm not really surprised with where the bottom is sitting. I think obviously even at the start of the year in the Team Girls Cup, we saw they don't quite have the depth where those top teams really can seamlessly transition and move other players on and don't lose anything. So I think it's going to stay as is, that it's just going to be that 4th position for me. Will it be Vixens or will it be Lightning?
And my last one for you is the Super Shot. There is a lot of commentary about the Super Shot all the time. I want to know, your thoughts, and do you think it's going to decide the grand final? Who's going to be the premiers at the end of this season? Do you think the Super Shot will decide it?
Oh, well, I think Eleanor Cardwell's put her hand up and said, look, I can win games in the last dying seconds on a Super Shot. And I think the league, it's an exciting addition to obviously the league. I think other countries might want to start to follow suit because it really does make you play until that final minute and no team is out of it. So I love the addition. I think it is exciting as a fan. And yeah, I would love to see it obviously finished on a Super Shot. I mean, why not? What a way to finish and what a way to get your hands on the Premiership trophy.
Well, let's take a look at what is going to happen this weekend and what teams will be taking the court against each other. It's going to be a tight one. It's the Firebirds and Magpies. That is of interest to me. Giants and the Thunderbirds. Then a huge one, I think, the Vixens and the Fever. The Vixens getting to host the Fever at home, and then the Swifts and the Lightning. Don't forget, it's going to be a big weekend. What game are you going to be at?
I'm going to be at the Vixens and Fever.
And I will see you there too. So thank you so much for joining us on Centre Court. All thanks to OMF. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back next week.